Hi everybody, Robert Jones back again, and we are making a special birthday cake today. It is one of my sister's birthday today, and she does the whole gluten-free thing, so we're doing that too. We're making a coconut cake today. I hope you guys watch this, learn, and see that it's not that hard to accommodate either for yourself or for somebody else. And let's get started. Coconut cake, gluten-free. Okay guys, today is going to be a lot of focusing on the bowl because making this gluten-free coconut cake is a lot about technique. So I'm going to try to focus a lot in here so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put 5 egg whites. Make sure you separate your eggs and put that in there. I did that ahead of time just to save some time. I'm going to plop those in there, and then we're going to put the whisk attachment on, and then we're just going to start whisking those. Lock it down, load it up. Okay, so as our eggs have gotten a little fluffy now, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1 teaspoon cream of tartar, and that is an acid that is going to help keep the protein matrix in a nice fluffy mood. Okay, you can see we've got some nice peaks starting to go here, so we're going to add in a ½ cup of white sugar. And keep on rolling. Okay, now we're going to just scrape down the bowl a little bit. Well, you can see it's getting nice and thick. Look how nice and thick that is. Alright, going to go just a little bit more. Alright, check that out. Nice, shiny, thick. Look, it holds a nice peak, and you guys see that peak? Wiggling, wiggling peak. There it is. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, so now we're going to put this in a different bowl. Okay, I just put it in this bowl, and I'm just doing that because we're going to use the mixing bowl again for the other half of the recipe. Alright, to this bowl we're going to add 1 can of coconut milk. Coconut milk in the morning. Get it all. Okay, we're going to add 1.5 cups of sugar, and I'm doing this with a 1/4 cup because it's the one that fits in my jar. So there's 1, 2, 5, 6. So 1.5 cups of sugar. We are going to add 1 teaspoon of guar gum, which is going to help the stability of the cake since there is no gluten. We are going to add 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, 3. 1 teaspoon of salt. And 1 teaspoon of coconut essence. Actually, let's make it 2. We'll make it really coconutty. There we go. And then this time we're going to use our paddle attachment, and we're going to put that on and give it a little mix just to get it all incorporated with the coconut milk. And then I'm going to take our egg yolks that we had from before that we just didn't put in yet and plop those in one at a time and let them mix in well. Alright, let's scrape down our bowl, make sure we got all the goodness mixing up in here. Yes, it's a little bit different method than normal cake making, but you will see it will be magic. And there's just some egg whites in there, and that is perfectly fine. Alright, now to this mixture we're now going to put in 1 cup of melted butter. Now we don't want them to be too hot because there's lots of eggs in here. So it's okay to touch. That means it's okay to go in there. So 1 cup melted or super soft butter, whatever you got. I say a little bit melted in the microwave. This original recipe asked for vegetable oil, and I say why not put butter because it tastes better. Alright, let's give that a stir. Okay, this recipe originally called for all gluten-free flour, but I think that's nasty because it's mostly rice and it's going to be chunky. So I'm going to do 2/3 that and 1/3 coconut flour. So the thing to remember with coconut flour is it does absorb a lot of the moisture. So let's put that in first and we'll give it a stir, and then we'll add the other 2 cups of regular non-gluten baking flour. So that's coconut flour. And this is 1 cup of the, I'm actually using Trader Joe's gluten-free baking powder. And let's let that mix in a little bit. Alright, and we'll add the last cup. Trying not to make a mess. Alright, let's go slow. And we'll give it a little scrapey scrape. Want to get everything. This looks like a really rich batter. Nice and buttery goodness. Now, if you notice, it does look a little thick and weird. That's because of the different types of flour. Alright, stir it up a little bit more. Okay, here comes the magical part of this recipe. Take off your paddle, get all the goodness, and it kind of looks like a muffin batter. It's kind of thick. It's not really your Betty Crocker pouring batter, is it? Here comes the magic. Set your mixer aside, then you got your bowl. Now, remember our fabulous meringue. We're going to use some technique here. We're going to take about 1/3 of the meringue and put it in. And then we're going to do what's called lightening the batter. We're going to turn and fold across and turn and fold across and turn and fold across. And the idea is to keep as much of the fluff of the meringue as possible. Across and fold, and across and fold, and across and fold, across and fold. And when you think you got that one mixed in, make sure you get to the bottom, get the heavy stuff. Then we're going to get another 1/3. Put that in there, and do the same thing.
So across and fold. Cut and across. That is looking nice and fluffy now. Alright.
And let's get the last bit in there. This is a beautiful meringue. This is probably one of the best meringues I've made in a long time. I'm impressed with myself. Okay, let's fold that last bit in there. And I can see we're about out of battery, so I'm going to change this real quick. And then we'll be back to put this in the pans. Look at that. That is looking really good. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so coconutty. Keep in the fluff. Alright, let me change the battery and we'll be right back. Okay, you guys, we're back. New battery. Alright, so check it out. The batter is looking pretty darn good. So let's set that aside. And now we've got 3 pans. 3 pans alive. Okay, got 3 pans. And I've also cut parchment to fit in the pan. Very easy. Okay, and since we are trying to keep this gluten-free, I'm going to be using butter, not spray with flour in it like I normally do. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pan. The first thing you're going to do is put a little bit of butter in the middle, just like that. It's going to keep the parchment down. And then we're going to put butter around the edge, just a little bit, like so. All the way around. Butter, butter. Do it to all 3 pans, in the middle and on the sides. Alright, buttered pans. Alright, we're going to put our parchment into the pans. so. Alright, now we're going to do the best we can to divide the batter into the 3 pans. Birdie's singing. Alright, so I think we're pretty good there. So try to smooth this the best you can. It's kind of thick. Remember not to squish out too much of your air. Get it all the way around. And since this is a layer cake, it doesn't really matter that they're not exactly the same size, because they're going to be layered and it's going to be delicious no matter what. But I do try to do a little bit of perfection in the kitchen, so. Okay, so we got these smoothed out. So we give them a little shake to try to get them even, but don't do it so much that don't knock out the air. All right, we got 3 cakes alive, going in the fridge, not the fridge, they're going in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 45 minutes. So that's a big range. So check for your oven, check them at 30, check them at 35, check them at 40. Basically, you want something to go in like a toothpick tender, but don't open the oven if they're still jiggly because you don't want to lose the air and have it fall. All right, we will see you in 45 minutes. All right, my chickadees, we are back here at the bowl. Our cakes are cooking away, and I thought I would make the buttercream frosting. I'm making a ton of buttercream frosting today. I'm not sure how much this cake is going to make, so I'm making a double recipe. So we're going to start out with 1 whole pound of butter into the mixer. So there's that, and then I'm going to put on the paddle attachment. This is the paddle attachment. And we're going to whip this up until it's nice and fluffy. And I'm going to put the flavoring in now. I'm going to be using something called pandan, which is, see if you guys can see it there in the light. It is a grass that is in the tropics, like the Philippines and Japan, China. It's a grass, and it's used like we use vanilla. Now, this, you could perfectly use vanilla. What I did not want to use, again, is I did not want to use the coconut, because if you smell this stuff, I don't want the frosting to smell like a 1970s suntan commercial.
What a tan. What a tan. What a tantalizing, moisturizing, mesmerizing. What a tan.
And that's exactly what I think it would taste like. So I'm going to switch it up a bit, and I think my family's going to be surprised when they're like, what's that flavor? And it is called pandan. You can find this is actually by McCormick. I'm sure you guys all know McCormick. You can find it in Asian stores or online, and I highly recommend it. It smells a little bit sweet, a little bit grassy, not like fresh mowed lawn, but just it has a really beautiful scent. So if you guys could try this, it's really good. I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons in here, so just measuring with a teaspoon. 1, 2. I think that's going to be enough. I don't want it to be overpowering, but I want it to have some scent to it. Alright, so now we're just going to whip this butter up. Alright, so now we're going to add sugar. We're going to add powdered sugar, and we're going to add 6 total. So I'm just going to do a little at a time here. So there's 1. Alright, there's all our sugar. Now we're going to whip this till it's nice and fluffy. Give it a scrape. Okay, now the question is, depending on what climate you live in, for instance, I live in California and it is very dry right now, so I'm going to add a tiny bit of cream to this. So I have here just heavy whipping cream. I'm going to add just a couple tablespoons to moisten it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Go slow. And let's scrape it down again. Check it. See how we're doing here. I think it's looking pretty good. Really get to the bottom. Make sure you got no butter at the bottom or powdered sugar, because we don't want any dry spots. Alright, let's give it a taste. I got a fresh spoon. Check the seasoning and the pandan. Okay, it's still a little lumpy, so we're going to let that go a little bit more. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more milk. And I think just a little bit more pandan, because it's not real strong flavored. So about another teaspoon or tablespoon. And let's get it go. Alright, one final check. Let's see if we are smooth. So I like to feel it with my fingers. It's smooth. I don't feel any chunks. I feel like the sugar has dissolved into the butter. It's good to go. And it's really good. We have cake, cake, and they feel nice. They are a little dense, because that's what happens when you make gluten-free flour. So what we're going to do to make these not into biscuits, I read a recipe online. I thought, oh, it's a really good idea. I'm going to take another can of coconut milk, because you were probably wondering, what the heck is that other can of coconut milk for? And I'm going to take it and I'm going to punch a hole in the top like a milk can, and another one for air. And then I'm going to take two toothpicks, and then I'm going to like get all Godzilla on it and just punch a bunch of holes. It's like a Jello poke cake of sorts, or a tres leches cake. Oh, that's not working. So let's do two.
The train is coming to town, just poking holes. Poking the holes, poking the holes, poking the holes. Poke, 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 poke. Now, some recipes said that you should do this for 24 hours, but I only got 24 hours, so it's going to get like a 2-hour soak. Alright, pokey, pokey, poke.
Now, I don't want to get these too wet, because I want them to be moist, but I still want them to hold up as a cake. So I'm just going to do a light bit of milk on these. So a little bit of milk, a little bit of milk, a little bit of milk, milk more. Alright, and then I'm going to use my faithful pastry brush, and I'm just going to put this around and let the coconut milk soak in, keeping it nice. Alright. Alright, I'm going to let that soak in for a couple hours, and then we will assemble the cakes. So apparently I just had a camera mishap, but here we are. So here is our buttercream frosting that we made earlier, and I decided that I'm going to make this cake a little bit more fancy. My sister makes cakes for everybody. I thought, oh, why not make this one super fancy? So we've got our buttercream frosting. I took about 1/4 of it out of there. I put it in here. I mixed it with some raspberry jam. So it's going to be a raspberry jam filling in the coconut cake. So let's give this a little mix up here. It'll be nice for the center. Here's our cake plate deluxe. Here are our cake layers, first 2 of them. So the first one, peeling. Lovely. I'm going to do an old-fashioned trick, and that is to put some wax paper down here around the edges, like so. Now we'll put our cake there. Then we have our raspberry fill. So I was going to do this. I was going to take a little bit of the jam and put on here. Just a little bit, just to give it a little extra smoothing, smoothing, smoothing. You guys don't have to do this. This is just an extra I just thought of, and I thought it would be, I don't know what that is, delicious. Okay, jam. Then take some of our buttercream mix. Proper tools, gotta have the proper tools. Alright, so then we can smooth this around. Maybe do a bit more. Offset spatula. Alright, get it to the edges, because nobody likes a dry edge. Alrighty, look at that. Look at that. Alright. Then we will take our next layer, take off the paper, put that on there, get a nice seal down, repeat, some jam, put jam on it. Maybe a bit more jam. All the way to the edges. Alright, then some more of our buttercream. Let's just use it all. What the heck? Boop.
That looks good. And around.
Very nice. And our last mini layer of coconut cake. Get it seated down there nicely. Look at that, it is looking good. Okay, so now let's get the regular buttercream on here. Now I'm going to do what's called a crumb coat. So that means you put it on here and you get the whole thing sealed up. And this knife is way too big for this. It is a warm day and this cake is rocking and a rolling all over the place. So I'm going to do a little bit at a time here. Now, I'm not too worried about the sides being perfect because we've got toasted coconut going to go on them. So let's just try to get a good coating here.
Everything on here. Now, I bet if this turns, but I can turn it. You can always take frosting off if you get too much on there. The idea with this one is to get the cracks filled and get some icing on the cake.
And like I said, it is a warm day. I wish it was not quite so warm. Not great for pastry, but we're going to make it work. So I took some coconut and I just put it in a pan and I just toasted it for a little bit. That's all this is. It's just regular coconut toasted. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to try to put on the edge of the cake here and pat it in. I'm thinking it looks pretty good. So now what you're going to do is you're going to carefully take these things out of the side and hopefully pull all of the mess with you. Look at that. You guys see that? Yes, you can. Slowly from one side to the other. Pull that. I'm going to shake the coconut. And the last one, pulling it slowly. Taking frosting with it, that's alright. Look at there, coconut cake. Now, I'm feeling fancy. I think I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. Just a little bit. Bum bum, coconut cake. Coconut cake. Alright, you guys. I'm happy with that. I think it looks pretty darn good. It's got coconut all around. And I think somebody's going to be happy with their birthday. Alright, you guys. Woo! I'm hot, but guess what? I'm not going to taste test for this right now, but this is a big coconut cake, and it looks really, really good. Coconut cake with jam filling and buttercream, gluten-free. Alright, you guys. I'm going to taste this in a little while, and hopefully I get it on camera for you guys. But if I don't, I guarantee you this is delicious. Okay, you guys, we're at birthday party, and got a little cake here, and I got a little cake here. I thought I'd give you guys the official test. So, first of all, this will be the taste test of the gluten-free. We're having both here today. Very coconutty. It's nice, and you can feel the softness with the coconut milk soaking in there. Hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this coconut cake today. It's quite delicious and gluten-free, so that's even a better thing for people that need that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm Robert Jones. You can find me everywhere as Eudaemonius, or my channel is EudaemoniusMarkII, EudaemoniusMarkII. Anyway, I hope to see you guys online. Say hi and comment, like, subscribe, hit the red button, please. Just hit the red button. Come back, check it out. Let me know what you would like to see me make. Alright, you guys, take care. Bye.